Good morning, everybody, again. Nice to see you. How's your reading going? Are you happy with how it's going? Yes? Are you enjoying your latest book? What are you reading?
I'm reading The Picture of the Railway.
Oh, great. That's the book we were talking about in an earlier class. Are you enjoying? I mean, is it good? What point have you got to? Can you tell me anything about it?
Yes, I think that it's very interesting and also there is a mystery.
There's a very big mystery at the back of it. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Has anyone else in the class read The Picture of Dorian Gray?
No, we have not seen.
I really, really recommend it. It is a very interesting story. It's quite a horrible story in some ways, but it's very interesting too, and it really makes you think about how people are. Do you agree?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, today I wanted to close my textbook. I don't want to work with the textbook. I'm not going to tell you about grammar, or at least I am going to tell you about grammar, but we're going to do it through the books, okay? So for the first activity today, I want you to look at the covers of your books, and I want you to take no more than 30 seconds to write a list of all the words suggested by the book you're reading, okay? Just the cover, and they can be any part of speech, but you have 30 seconds starting now. How many people have got 5 words at the time? Good. How many people have got 10 words in the time? Anybody got 10? No. Okay, so you've all got between 5 and 8, I expect, right? Very good work. What I'd like to do now, who has got the most words, do you think? How many words do you have? 7. Okay, well, let's go with you. Will you read them out to me, please?
River.
Sorry?
River.
River. Okay, great. Yes?
And the bank, river bank.
Oh, and riverbank, yeah. Yeah.
Boat.
Boat. Yeah.
The 3 men.
Men.
Man.
And the number 3, yeah.
Journey.
Journey, very nice word, yes. Journey, I like that one.
Irony.
Irony. That is an extremely nice word. Wow.
And finally, travels.
Travels, excellent. Okay.
No, travels.
Travelled.
Travels, why?
Oh, travels with an S?
No.
Sorry.
Travels.
Oh, troubles, sorry, troubles. Right, sorry, forgive me. Troubles.
I just say the journey.
Yes, okay, troubles. I like that. Excellent. Okay, what I'd like everyone to do now, the whole class, will take turns. I'm just going to model the activity, but then the next time you will do this activity on your own, okay? Because we'll do it regularly, because it's a very good way to think about vocabulary. Okay, I want you very quickly to think of different ways in which you could organize these words. I'm not going to tell you how you're going to do it. I want you to think about different ways these words could be grouped in different kinds of groups. Okay? Do you need help? Do you understand? Or would you like me to explain more? Do you want me to explain more? Yes? For example, that's one. But there are other ways of grouping words, aren't there?
Material.
Why don't you take 30 seconds and to work as groups and think how you might organize the words. Talk to each other, okay? Okay, time is up. Okay. What ways of grouping them? What did you all think at this table? What did you think about ways of grouping them?
We thought about, for example, grouping river and riverbank in...
Right, that is, yeah, okay. Does anything else go in that group, would you say? The boat, possibly. Why? Why would you put the boat with the river?
Because they could also journey, because they can make a journey on the river.
Okay, so you could have it all according to how associated with the idea of a journey by river. And the only way you could do a journey by river is in a boat. Are there any other words we use in English for things that float on the water that you know?
A ship.
A ship, excellent. Any other words? Let's think about a boat. Quickly think about. So we have ship. So let's do a word cloud. Here we have a boat, ship, ferry. You said ferry, didn't you? Yes, excellent. Ferry. Have you ever done this activity before? A word cloud? Okay. A word cloud is a conceptual map. It's a way to help you think. And often you start with a very simple idea, but with that you can build out and you can collect the vocabulary, the best vocabulary. You must remember that in English is a very fortunate language, or very unfortunate, depending on whether you're learning it or using it. English has a huge lexicon. Does anyone know why it has such a big lexicon? Do you know? It's because English is full of borrowed words. We steal words from other languages. So the first language, recorded language in English, were the Celtic languages. And those words are still in the lexicon, but they're not very often used. But where you find them is anything to do with the landscape. Things like all the names for rivers, for natural things, like a coombe, which is a valley. A tor is a kind of mountain. The Thames is a Celtic word. All the river names in England are Celtic words. Okay? Then what happened? What happened?
The Romans.
The Romans came. They're everywhere, aren't they? The Romans came. And the Romans brought which language? Latin. And so they Latinized a lot of our names, right? They Latinized a lot of them. And so we have all the towns in England which have Chester on them. It's all from castra, which is the word for what in Latin?
A campament.
A military encampment. So all the towns in England that have Chester on the end of it, or are just called Chester, like the town of Chester, were once Roman encampments. They weren't English, they weren't Celtic towns at all, okay? So who came after the Romans?
The Saxons.
The Anglo-Saxons, and they brought the German languages. And shortly after the Saxons started, we had the Vikings as well, and they brought more words in. And all the family of words that those people brought in were from the Germanic languages. And in fact, basic English is mostly German roots. It's mostly German's roots. And that's very interesting. So, for example, our word for a knife comes from Scandinavian language and not from the Anglo-Saxon. Our word for window comes from the Viking languages, and it means the wind's eye. And it tells you something about what windows were like in those days. They didn't have much glass in them, so the wind came howling through. So after that lot, the Germanic lot, who did we get next?
The French.
The French. Brilliant. You know all these things. Okay? The French came in. And then, after the French, we had the Enlightenment, and people started bringing a lot more Latin and Greek language into the mix, and then there was also a lot of invented words from that time as well. And then, of course, there was the Empire that brought us words like anorak and pyjama and jodhpur and shampoo. And the first one, anorak, comes from Inuit, and all the other ones are from Indian languages. So English is full of this wonderful mix of languages, okay? So let's think about other words to do with boat. Can you think of any more? What is the name of a boat that just floats on the water? It's just made out of sticks. It's called begins with an R. It's called a raft, okay? Okay? And you can have a sailboat. And under this, there are several kinds of sailboats. You can have sloops, and you can have brigs, and you can have all sorts of other names. English is very rich in this way. And one of the things you can do in your own time, if you like, is you find a word that interests you, and you can go on a word hunt and find these sort of words for yourself and enrich your vocabulary that way. The other thing you can do is just read a lot, and you will come across them and learn them quite naturally. Okay? So, we've got the words to do with river. We can get rid of this activity now. Okay, here. What other ways of grouping here do we have? So we have the conceptual idea of a river as a place with a journey. What other kinds of words do we have here?
For example, travels and journey, and because they are the same aspect, like an adventure.
Yes, journeys sometimes get associated with troubles because journeys can sometimes be very difficult. Yes,
and
I think that is a good. Irony is sort of the odd one out here, isn't it? But it's to do, in this case of this story, with the fact that it's clearly a funny story. And irony is central to how you look at words. But another way we could organize this word, what about alphabetically? That's a way of organizing words. What about by parts of speech, word class? Okay? So what is the predominant word class here?
Nouns.
Nouns, okay? That's often the case when you're naming things, okay? So the nouns we have are, let's go through them quickly.
River.
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 Yeah.
Boat.
Boat.
Man. Journey.
Right. So we're looking at the word journey. Is it only a noun?
No.
No, it's not. It can be used as a verb as well. So you can say, he journeys somewhere. It's quite a poetic way of speaking, but it is a perfectly usable word. So when you think about categorizing words in English, always be very careful, because often they belong to more than one word class. Okay, so 3 is an adjective. Okay, that's very simple. Irony? It's another noun. Okay. What is the adjective of irony?
Ironic.
Ironic. Excellent. Troubles?
It's a noun.
Right. Excellent. Another noun. Okay. But again, you can use trouble as a verb. He troubled me. His questions troubled me. I couldn't think how to answer them. Okay? So look at how a very simple task like this, in which we just did a quick collection of words, can actually help you develop your vocabulary and think about your vocabulary in different ways. Okay? So that is our first task. What we will do is, the next time we do this task in class, we will do it, each of you individually. And then you will come and present your different groupings to the rest of the class. Okay? Now, I want you to do another very quick task with me. What I want you to do is look in your books and pick a noun, an adjective, a verb, and an adverb, please. Okay? Anywhere, and just write them down on a piece of paper. Okay. Quickly, because we don't have much time. Noun, adverb, verb, an adjective. Okay, anyone who's finished first, raise your hand. Raise your hand when you're finished. Okay, let's have yours. What have you chosen?
Stories.
Stories. Okay. Stories.
Old.
Old. Yeah.
Touch.
Touch. Yeah, nice words. I really like what you. Every. So that's your adverb. Okay. I'm going to give you 10 seconds to write a sentence with that, just using those words. Okay? You can use, if you want, you can put in a preposition, you can put in a function word, okay? If you want. Okay? Then you write a sentence. It's quite difficult. You can also make it unplural if you want. You can depluralize it because of every. Okay?
Just with the...
You can make it, I think it would be a lot easier if we, because of every, okay? Okay. There's only one solution, I think, to this. Are we ready? Okay, let's start with the ladies who finished here. So what are you going to suggest?
I wrote that old story touches me every time I...
But you didn't follow the instructions. I'm only letting you to use those words on the board. It's very difficult. Who has it with just... Yes. Okay. Shall I give you the solution because there's only one solution, or have you figured it out? Okay, the only thing you can do is every, the adverb, and then you have to have old with this qualifying, right? And then you get story, and then you have... That's the only way you can do that right now, with those words. Every old story touches. It doesn't quite make sense. We can imagine what that is. It touches what? It touches our memory, our feelings, or whatever. Okay, so we've got this basic sentence. Let's put the object that you suggested. Shall we put me here? And then it makes sense. Every old story touches me. Okay? I want you to coordinate this sentence. I want you to coordinate it with and. You can write another bit of this sentence. Every old story touches me, and I know I've already got my answer. Can you think of one in your head?
Now listening.
And, sorry?
And then now listening.
And I love to listen to them. And I love to listen to them. Beautiful. What about you? Do you have an...
And involves me.
And involves me. Very good. Okay? I would say every old story touches me and makes me cry. Okay? Okay, that is an example of coordination. What about subordination? Every old story, and let's think about subordinating it with a clause with which. Okay, you might want to write that down. Every old story touches me. Remember that you can put the which. Where can you put the which? It doesn't have to come after me.
After the story.
It comes next to the noun. Excellent. So every old story which which I've read touches me. Very good. Excellent.
Which tells about monsters scaring.
Sorry?
Every old story which tells about
monsters touches me. Very good. Excellent. So are you a fan of Frankenstein?
It touched me in a bad way.
No, well, I have to say, Frankenstein I find a very touching story. Don't you? I think that the monster is pitiable. He touches me emotionally. I feel very sorry for him because he's the product of a megalomaniac. I mean, he's the product of someone who thinks he can be God. So I feel very sorry for the monster. So in that sense, I'm with you on that sentence. Do you have one?
Yes. Every old story which is about love touches me.
Oh, here we have romance again. Bitter bad. Okay, every soul story which is about love touches me.
I know love about adventure.
Right, with adventure. Excellent, excellent. Okay, what I'm really pleased about is the way you've used genre, the way you've used a key idea. You've all actually really got into this. Have you seen how quickly you can build up a sentence from a very simple idea? So, in the course of this session, we have looked at vocabulary. We have looked at how we can use grammar to open up our sentence. We've looked only a little bit, at how moving bits around of words syntactically gives a different feeling to the sentence. We've only covered that very superficially, and we'll do that more in another lesson, because syntax, the order in which words come and present ideas, is probably one of the most important things to learn as a writer. And what I would like you to take away from this lesson is looking at your reading and thinking how the information is given to you within the sentence to make you want to read on to the next sentence. Because good authors think about the weight of every word in every sentence they write. They think about every word they pick. Okay? So thank you very much for your hard work today. I really, really think you've done a wonderful job. And keep reading, and we will meet again next week and try another activity. Okay? Thank you.